Hello, everybody. This is Tom Eckert here. You're listening to my podcast, Numerology, a GPS for the soul. This is your place to learn about the true power of numerology and how to use it to bring out the best in yourself, understand your loved ones better, take wise decisions, and prepare for your future. In other words, how to live your life aligned with your true destiny. Take your time to educate yourself and share these podcasts with your friends and family so they too can enjoy the great benefits of numerology. Enjoy! Hello there, and welcome to all my listeners. Today, we have an entire episode dedicated to number combinations, which, in my opinion, is the heart of numerology. But before anything else, if you're new here, I want to welcome you to this podcast. In this podcast, we discuss numerology as a path for inner transformation, spiritual growth, and self understanding. I attempt to make numerology accessible and applicable for everyday life matters, and I do my best to provide you with grounded, in depth information so that you can apply numerology in order to make your life better, more conscious, more balanced, aligned with your soul purpose, and other precious things. Now, I mentioned this in my last episode, and I want to remind you and also invite you to join the spiritual summit that I will be taking part in as one of 20 more experts. It's free to join, but more details about this at the end of this episode. Furthermore, here are a few ways you can dive deeper into numerology should you wish to do so. First and foremost, you can book a numerology reading with me. In a reading, you can ask any question that is burning in your life right now and get precise answers, tailored especially to you. Now, you can read more about my numerology readings and contact me through the link in the episode description to book your reading with me. If you wish to study numerology on a deeper level or even pursue it as a career, then I invite you to check out my numerology study paths. First of all, check out my self-study numerology courses that give you the rare opportunity to learn numerology online at your own pace on your mobile device, your tablet, or your laptop. Now, my course library currently includes 2 self-study courses, but more are coming up, so make sure to keep yourself updated. Or, if you want to be initiated into the rare depths of numerology, you can sign up to my complete path of certification where you study directly with me, one-on-one, all the way from beginner to numerology expert, and you get certified as a professional numerologist. To read more about both study paths, check out the links in the episode description. Now, one of the themes I keep repeating and talking about again and again is number combinations. Not only did I already create a full episode about the topic a long time ago, but I also published an entire course about this topic about 2 weeks ago, and I constantly refer to this topic in my episodes. And here I am, creating a second full episode dedicated to this topic. So why do I place so much emphasis on this topic? In short, without knowing number combinations, you don't know numerology. Without number combinations, you are looking at dismembered pieces of information and cannot create synergy. It is like looking at organs of a body in total isolation, not knowing how they each work together to form a functioning and thriving body. Visit any random numerology website or blog, and even book, and you'll find many articles about the life path numbers, about angel numbers, quote unquote, whatever that means. about this calculation and that calculation, but nowhere, or almost nowhere, will you find anybody talking about the elephant in the room, namely, how do all these details come together? Now, I'm going to say this very bluntly. Without knowing number combinations, you can't really practice numerology or create any holistic reading for that matter. You can't unify the data into a cohesive whole that would accurately describe your character, your destiny, or your unfolding future, and even past. Without number combinations, you are only playing with disjointed pieces of information. They are necessary to learn as a foundation, for sure. But if you want to actually put numerology into practice, you must advance and study number combinations. Now, in total, there are 36 number combinations. How nice is it, right? Because 36 equals 9. Again, the beauty of number 9 includes everything. So in total, there are 36 number combinations, and mastering them by first studying them and then putting them into practice and verifying their validity is the way you want to go. At first, you need to study well the numbers and their meaning. Then, the major locations in the chart. The life path, the expression number, and the solarge number, then the personality number, and lastly, the birthday number. Once you got that covered, it's time to move into the real flesh and blood of numerology, or the connecting tissue, if you will, and start studying number combinations. Number combinations simply means taking any two pair of numbers and learning how they function together. As you'll come to see if you study this topic, some numbers understand each other really well, while others are more at odds with each other. I highly recommend you check out my new and deep course about number combinations, the one I mentioned earlier, as it covers all number combinations in detail. So far, you've looked at your numbers only from the perspective of standalone digits. It's very common for people to say, I'm a 5 life path, or, and I have an 8 expression number, etc. And so they learn some of the significations of the 5 and some of the 8, and they analyze them completely separately. But as I've already said earlier, your core numbers are the energetic organs in your numerological body, and you must learn how they function in synergy. So, what happens when 5 and 8 merge? What type of behavior comes out of that? What new tendencies? What kind of psychological personality is formed? Do they agree or disagree with one another? These are all very important questions. Now, every number combination you analyze gives birth to something new, a new dynamic. I personally like to call it the third entity. It's a bit like two parents coming together and producing a child who is not just a blend of their energies, but something new altogether with its own unique functions and tendencies. Number combinations are exactly like that. Numbers 5 and 8 coming together in synergy are not just the sum of all the qualities of 5 plus all the qualities of 8. That will be redundant. They blend like ingredients in a stew, and they form a new taste, a new fragrance. Now, as you can imagine, Just like with a stew, not all ingredients thrown into the pot work well together. Some ingredients can really screw up the entire dish when put together. So this is a pretty good metaphor, I would say, for, you know, numbers that are less agreeable as a combination. But in life, as opposed to a stew, we most often don't get to choose the ingredients we're made of, right? You're born, on a certain date. You're given a certain name. You have absolutely no control over that. And that's what you need to deal with, the set of numbers you were given. And therefore, the art, of number combinations is so important to learn because it helps you navigate your complexities, your conflicts, and even traumas, but also strengthen your natural potentials and find solutions to issues in your life. To use a more numerologically suitable language, I would say that some numbers are more harmonious with each other, while others are more disharmonious. Interestingly, by the way, in the current numerological literature, all numerologists unanimously speak of only two levels of harmony, namely harmonious or disharmonious. Now, the method I teach, the human body numerology, that was passed down to me by my beloved teacher, Sharon Ron, who also founded the method, presents more levels of harmony. In fact, in my in-depth studies, the one where I teach you one-on-one and really initiate you into deep numerology, I teach 6 levels of harmony. This is really, really a different level. In my self-study course, by the way, about number combinations, I teach you 3 levels of harmony, which is already, one more than all numerology books and teachings out there suggest. So in the course, right, I focus on harmonious, in between, and disharmonious. So 3 levels of harmony that give you a richer perspective of how the numbers interact and what that means about you and your life. For example, let's take 5 and 8. So 5 and 8, for example, are harmonious. 7 and 9 are in between. And 1 and 2 are disharmonious. In between, by the way, simply means that there are quite some solid agreeable points and also quite some solid points of disagreement. Right? There's enough friction and enough balance. And this means a lot, right? Now imagine mastering this knowledge and then taking a fresh new look at your core numbers. All of a sudden, a whole new world opens before you. It's not anymore about, I have this or that number, but rather about, oh, well, let's see how my 2 blends with my 7 and what that means. Or let's see how I can utilize my 5-9 tendencies. Or I wonder how my 4-8 influence my relationships. You see, so for the first time, you can start to really understand what's going on in your life and why, and also how to work with it on a far deeper level than if you would have addressed it with standalone numbers. So the next thing I want to talk about is common denominators, an important term you're going to hear me refer to again and again when teaching number combinations. But before I keep talking any further, if you're enjoying this podcast and you want to keep learning more grounded, applicable, high quality numerology, make sure to click the follow or subscribe button and turn on the notification bell on the platform you're listening from, and make sure to become part of my numerology community. Also, make sure to check out the comment section and leave a comment on an episode you liked, share your thoughts, and even ask me questions. It's your opportunity to connect with me directly, and I would love that. I always attempt to answer all the comments and questions. If you don't find a way to comment, make sure to pop by YouTube and go to my podcast or Spotify. These are two great places to communicate with me. So, back to our topic. In order to master the art of number combinations, you want to start thinking in terms of common themes between the numbers, or as I like to call it, common denominators. That's why I said earlier that before you study number combinations, you must study each number thoroughly, both light and shadow. And by the way, this is something I teach in my first self-study course about the fundamentals of numerology. And I offer the courses as a bundle with a discount. So check it out. So, because only when you study the numbers, both light and shadow, you can comfortably detect the common denominators between any pair of numbers. Establishing the common themes between any pair of numbers will help you to get a feeling of how they would actually behave as a number combination. You start off by listing the common traits, both light and shadow. And then you have to sort of feel into what that would look like as a new form of character, behavior, and possibly even a period energy, meaning cycles and pinnacles. Don't forget that number combinations are also very important when looking at your cycles and pinnacles. So they are important both in character and destiny analysis, but also in timing techniques and forecasting. This is incredible, isn't it? It adds so much more information and input. With number combinations, you want to strike the fine line between listing all the common characteristics of the numbers and then allowing them to guide you in feeling the texture of the combo as a merged energy, namely the third entity, what I referred to earlier. For example, let's take 6 and 9. Their common traits are generosity, being heart-oriented, people-oriented, resourceful, mature, justice-seeking. Their common shadow traits are mostly anger and overgiving. Now, of course, again, I'm explaining this in short here, my friends. Now that I listed the common denominators, I will sense into what that means. So I can say something like 6 and 9 have a big heart, a mature heart. They have much to share with others and the world. They are people of values and truly care for purposeful causes. However, they can tend to be very frustrated and angry when things don't work out their way or when feeling depleted after giving and giving and giving. This is just a quick example to give you guys a feeling of the practice of number combinations. My new self-study course will take you into a much more complete study of this entire art. Now, having said that, to begin with, don't start going all over the place. The most important numbers in your chart to analyze as number combinations are your sacred triad, namely your life path, your expression, and your soul urge numbers. These are by far the strongest and most defining numbers in your chart. I always tell my students that when I want to know a person, I waste no time and immediately explore deeply their sacred triad and its combinations. That leaves you with 3 number combinations you'll need to analyze well about yourself. Say you have a 2 life path, a 6 expression number, and a 7 soul urge. The number combinations you'll need to analyze are 2-6, 2-7, and 6-7. Now, of course, the other number combinations in your chart matter, but I would say they are secondary. Also, you want to start somewhere. You want to have a solid base before you start expanding into other combinations, into new territories. Until now, you only knew the meaning of your sacred triad numbers as standalones. Imagine just how much information you will unveil about yourself and your deeper destiny, your lessons, potentials, and challenges once you unravel the meaning of your major number combinations. To take it one step further, you can also do the same with your current cycle and pinnacle, the one that you're currently in. What number combinations do you see there? The process is the same as I explained before, only that now the meaning of the interpretation is not referring to your personality, but rather to what I call the quote unquote school environment that life is putting you through during this period. Indeed, a very powerful piece of information. So take a look at your current cycle. What number is there? Is it a 5? Is it a 7? What is your cycle? Is it a 2? Is it a 1? And do the practice as I explained above. The beauty about number combinations lies not only in understanding what they mean, but also using them as pathways to enable stuck energy to flow again. For example, let's say you are a 3 life path and 5 soul urge. And for the longest time, your family was putting pressure on you to get married. They want you to find a stable partner, buy a house, and have kids. But now that you get to know the 3-5 number combination in your chart, in your sacred triad, you realize that you are a much more youthful and explorative soul in nature. It's not that you didn't know that before, but you fought against your nature. Now you have a deep confirmation. You don't commit easily, and you need much freedom and joy in your life. Now, knowing this number combination can help you tremendously in accepting the fact that it was very difficult for you to find someone you actually resonate with, or perhaps why you didn't want to commit altogether. You can then also find a partner that is suitable for a creative, adventurous, and sassy person like yourself. Someone who understands the 3-5 combo, your need for freedom, explorations, and your own sense of, unique time and space. This can be a real game changer. Or say, you are a life path 7 and 2 expression number, and you always judge yourself for being shy and socially a little bit awkward, perhaps. But finally, you get to know the 2-7 combo and realize that you are meant to be a highly sensitive being, much more fine tuned to the subtleties of life and people. And therefore, you can drop the self judgment altogether and learn to embrace the beauty in being a subtle, more spiritually inclined person. Now, I could go on and on, but this should give you an idea of how useful number combinations can be. Imagine using this technique of number combinations to find a suitable career, a suitable partner, overcoming financial issues, overcoming traumas, understanding repeating patterns in your life, and offering a good solution, and so on and so forth. It's really safe to say that number combinations is indeed the heart of numerology. Without it, numerology has no depth and no dimensions. It is dismembered and lacks wholeness and complexity. With number combinations, you're accessing a whole new dimension of who you are and who the people you love are as well. It's absolutely necessary and is a total game changer. Again, I'll say it very clearly. Without number combinations, there is no real numerology. So if you want to take your numerology practice to the next level, make sure to dive into the art of number combinations. You won't regret it. You have my word. So now all that's left to do is for you to verify it in your own experience. And as we're approaching the end, I promised you to say more about the Spiritual Summit. So I'm one of the featured speakers in the Elevated Existence Summit, now in its 12th season already, which gathers top experts in mind-body healing, opening intuition, manifestation modalities, and so on to help you all grow and expand. It's hosted by the beloved Tammy Mastroberti, the #1 best-selling author of the award-winning book The Universe is Talking to You and The Higher Help Method, who teaches you how to tap into the higher helpline of the universe to get guidance, to get answers and signs, to create a life that you love waking up to every day. Now, listening and signing up is totally free. The summit already started on January 14th, but you can join anytime. I will be giving my talk, and it's a live talk, on January 21st at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So, my friends, be there or be square. Now, Tammy's annual summit brings together 20 plus top experts, myself included, in many areas of spirituality, of healing, of developing intuitions, and so on. The summit, as I said, is already active and it runs until April 3rd, 2025, with only 2 live interviews per week and a 48-hour replay period, which allows basically each and every one of you to really soak in, right, the topics you are listening to and learning. Plus, and this is really important, each speaker gives away a free gift and a special offer you can't find anywhere else, not even on this podcast. And that includes me as well, my friends. So to register for free and to join this exciting summit, use the link in the episode description. And before I wrap this up, if you have enjoyed this podcast and you want to keep learning in depth, grounded, high quality numerology, make sure to subscribe, to follow, and turn on the notifications bell on the platform you're listening from and become part of my numerology community. Also, remember to check out the comment section, leave a comment, share your thoughts, ask me questions. It's a great way to connect. Remember, YouTube and Spotify are perhaps the better places to leave comments if you want me to, if you want to interact. And of course, don't forget to check out my professional numerology readings. A great way to get to know yourself and see how numerology actually works. And last but not least, check out my self-study numerology courses that are constantly growing and growing, and my in-depth numerology certification studies if you want to acquire deeper mastery of numerology. My friends, it was a great pleasure, as always, to share with you this information, this knowledge. I hope it inspired you. This is a special episode because number combinations is a very special topic. So go ahead and practice this, verify it in your own experience. And as always, I'll see you in the next episodes. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. If you did, and you want to go deeper into numerology, check out my website, tom-eckert.com. You can also book a numerology reading or even study numerology yourself through my courses. I'll see you in the next episode.